I said, yeesh. First of all, top of the top to all y'all. You know what I mean? If you do the Thanksgiving thing, top of the top to you. If you don't, top of the top to you. You know what I mean? That's how we do that. No disrespect nowhere, period. All right. So, first of all, let me go ahead and put this here disclaimer out there to y'all. Okay? First of all, hold on. This is a special edition. So looking at my special editions, I'm coming straight from my journal, straight from my thoughts. You know what I mean? So with that being said, if you have if you feel some kind of way about what I've been through or how or what I've grown through, if you feel some kind of way of what I've been through, then fuck you. I don't need no disclaimer about my man. That's my disclaimer, all right, for the special edition, because that's where I'm at with it. With the special edition, it's to remind y'all, if this is your first round in, people they tap into these podcasts, and I had many people say, man, is Phillip racist? Is he this? Is he that? Is he, you know what I mean? So I just want to go ahead and let y'all know who I am. Share a few things about, King Phillip, so y'all don't have to assume whatever you were assuming. Because at the end of the day, when you assume, you do nothing but make an ass out of you and me. You know what I mean? The bottom line. All right. So, last week I had came out of Luther. You know what I mean? I had introduced Luther to y'all. You know what I mean? Let y'all know who Luther was. Luther is not my Facebook page. Luther is not my Instagram feed. You know what I mean? There's none of that. All right. Luther is who I come to spit some real shit. Who might make some money off this when I pass one of these days if they get a hold of Luther. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was Luther. Y'all gonna have to tap into the last episode if y'all want to get a hold of Luther. And again, I'm coming to y'all in typical poetry fashion. All right. I'm coming to y'all in typical poetry fashion. So last week I had shared with y'all just the makeup of Philip, King Phillip, through my alcoholic father. That poem was called what was that poem called? Burning Thoughts. And then last I also shared Pipe Dreams with y'all. Did I share Pipe Dreams? Yeah, I shared Pipe Dreams with y'all. And I also shared Pipe Dreams Rewritten with y'all. All right. And if y'all was with me, y'all saw that I had to catch a couple of tears. You know what I mean? I couldn't let them joints drop. You know what I mean? So I had to catch a couple of tears. I didn't expect to be up here watery eyed and stuff like that. But, when you reflect and are reading, some of your thoughts and what you've been through, the shit puts you in the mood. It puts you in the moment. It takes you there where all the feelings, everything that you felt at that moment comes rushing back. You know what I mean? That's where poetry comes into my life. You know what I mean? I've always wrote poetry to go through stuff. And just to let y'all know, I had a whole nother episode I wanted to jump into. Man, I had a whole topic. I'm gonna let y'all know what my topic is right now, just so y'all know what I'm gonna be talking about on Tuesday. My topic is on Tuesday that I was going to get into, but I already got my plan for the day. My topic for Tuesday is it possible to be pro-black in a white state? Is it possible to be pro-black in a white state? That's our topic for Tuesday. We ain't going there right now, but that's our topic for Tuesday. So coming back to it, you know what I mean? So I always lose my train of thought and stuff too. So coming to it, typical poetry fashion. All right. So I got a few more of my notebooks that I'm gonna share with y'all. You know what I mean? And I have a few pieces on the computer as well that I'm gonna share with y'all as well. You know what I mean? So and the thing is, it's a beautiful thing. I'm gonna stop this. You know what I mean? So coming back to it, let me go ahead and jump in it. You know what I mean? And poetry has always been my escape. You know, I was always able to express my feelings in stanzas that I can't do just talking. You know what I mean? So this poem right here I'm gonna share with y'all. It's called Untitled. Yeah, I don't have a title for it. I have wrote this poem October 1st, 2012. Well, that's when it was published on the computer. You know what I mean? That's when it was published on the computer. All right. And again, if you've heard pipe dreams, I mean not pipe dreams, but if you've heard burning thoughts about my pops, you know, burning thoughts is a poem just got a whole lot of questions, a whole lot of burning thoughts that I will never get answers to because the only person who can answer them is dead. So that's burning thoughts. So this poem right here is called Untitled. Y'all gotta bear with me too because 2012 I was in a different mind state that I'm in right now. All right. So I say, look, part of me just want to beat your motherfucking ass, but considering you brought me into the world, I'm gonna give you a pass. You see, pops, this shit hurts more than a scored woman's wickedest revenge. I mean, you were supposed to be my man's, like you and me was supposed to be what Brain is to Pinky or what Sanford is to Sun. But you wronged me, left me baking in the heat of the sun, and now look at this filth. The skin complexion like an oil spill, and I still can't understand why you held a bottle more than me in your hands. Pure devotion, I mean, it should have been me. I envy Wild Irish O. I mean, I envy Wild Irish Rose and Old E. All that time they got to spend with you, you see. You is what I see in the toilet before I flush. And everybody got the nerves to say I look just like you. Shitting me. Nigga, you can't equal the amount of man that I got in my left pinky. Jacking me out and giving me a binky don't make you a man. I resent the ground you stand. Better yet, the ground you lay in. I'll piss shit and spit on your grave, and I really do mean that. See, I ain't one of them mean blacks. I just wasn't given what I was entitled to. Mon Dukes did what she can, but it takes a man to make a man. And it's too late for a man, so that's why I'm going in. And it's fucked up that I gotta catch messages on TV by cross-dressing men. But it is what it is, right? Wrong. See, I long for the time for us to meet face to face, man to man, not man to man, waist to waist, not waist to face. So I can share with you some real knowledge. Not none of that college book smart type shit. I mean what it's like to grow up in this cruel, cold world lacking guidance. I remember the back of your head so well, like I know the back of my hand as often as I saw you walk away. Staying was never a part of the equation, so my math stayed fucked up. I hate mirrors because, to be honest, I see the resemblance. High cheekbones, wide nostrils, thick brows, but I still don't understand how. I don't care if you're looking up or down upon me now, but like they say, it's best to forgive and forget. Granted. That poem is called Untitled. Again, that like I said, I was in growing up without a pops. You see it on TV. You hear about what a dad is supposed to be like. You know what I mean? And I was just very thankful. Again, let's look at this in a lens of being thankful. I was just very thankful that my grandmother took me in. Not realizing the what was missing in my life, the void that was missing. Not knowing if that void that was missing, if I had got more of my pops daily, if I would be better today, if I would be worse off today. You know what I mean? These are questions. All right. These are all questions. These are all questions. So and it's all, in that time, in 2012, I've been a parent for a year, and I didn't miss a day of my son's life. That's where that mind frame, that's where that poem came from. You know what I mean? With me seeing how you know what I mean, how I put this together. I made this, and I want to be a part of creating this. So it even takes me to, I even said this on the last episode too. Like, if um if my older brother had a kid, he don't have any kids. If my older brother had a kid, had a son, all right, my older brother is locked up right now. Lord willing, he get out with some gray hairs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm wishing for. That's what I'm praying for. So that he still get out and see some of this good air on this side of the fence. But if man, I forgot where I was going with that. You know what I mean? If my older brother had a son, I would make it my mission to go get him. I would make it my mission to be a part of his life daily. I would make it a mission so that he knows his dad's side of the family. All right. My dad's side of the family didn't do that. They didn't, when he passed, they didn't check in to see if I was good. They didn't check in to see, and I was his only son, you know what I mean? So these feelings pour out in my writing. You know what I mean? And I can't, it is what it is at that point. So one of the ways that I deal with, not crying and stuff like that, when I look at it too, I always laugh. My daughter, she got a song when she had sang when she was like 7 for me. And it's true. It's called Laugh to Keep from Crying. You know what I mean? And she had a whole laugh to keep from crying. Laugh to keep from crying. Hey, she had a whole song to it. You know what I mean? It was crazy. It was dope. But it's true. Even in movies, if there's a sad part coming in a movie, I would start laughing to prevent myself from crying. But it's just, again, processing feelings and stuff like that. So I would like to share another poem with y'all if y'all don't mind. This poem is called Runny Nose. All right. This poem is called Runny Nose. It go. My nose is running, but it's easy to see behind the gimmicks. Let me tell you why is it. I cried through my nose cause my eyes won't show it, and I got too much pride to blow it, so I throat it. I don't hawk it up or spit it out or cough it up just to get it out. I got a way that's not a scenic route. Mocos down the back of my throat like weed smoke. My nose is running. Again, it's easy to see behind the gimmick. Let me tell you why is it. I cry through my nose cause my eyes is timid. Sniff is the only chance I got to win it. So I swallow my pride and never cry through my eyes. You see, explaining a runny nose is easy, believe me. But sometimes it's irritating. Like you're on a pork-free diet and smelling bacon. Gotta fight the temptation. You just... Damn, my nose is running. Well, sometimes I use my shirt to show my pain and hurt. The snot stains on my shirt that's mistaken for dirt. It's not so easy to see behind that gimmick. Now let me tell you why is it. My shirt is my shield that's seen as a smoke screen. There's pain deep in the seams, know what I mean? Know what I mean? No, you don't. So I'm going to put it like this. If I'm wearing long sleeves, I wipe the snot on my wrist. But if I care if you find out, I turn my shirt inside out and... That's runny nose, y'all. That's runny nose. You know what I mean? I wrote that joint September 2008. I was locked up at that time. So the poem Runny Nose, the significance behind that with me being in prison, I wasn't allowed to real life tears. You don't want to show no tears in prison. All right, that's real life steak sauce. You know what I mean? Real life steak sauce. All right, so a runny nose is easy, Believe me, you know, that's again, um my time that I spent in prison, it was, I would say, I got locked up for what I got away with, for all the little fights and all the, me beating people up and me running in and taking people's stuff, me doing shit that I wasn't supposed to be doing. That was God at the end of the day sitting me down for something completely different that I had absolutely nothing to do with. But at the same time too, I went through this already before. Y'all know the feds in my story, so I'm not gonna go all the way back into it. But at that time, you know, I didn't realize that you can do good all day. That's a real life great right there, just so y'all know. You can do good all day and still be seen as a menace to society. I'm gonna say that, and still be seen as, um, somebody who is poisoning the community instead of building it up. You can do good all day, all right. But at the end of the day, time. I have a poem. Oh man, and this poem I still have to finish writing because it goes all over the place. I have a couple of poems that I talk about time. All right, I got a few poems that I talk about time because when I was sitting down doing time, that's all you get to do is truly sit down and evaluate time. I'm gonna read this one to y'all. It's called Time, but I got a poem right here, and a lot of my poems, I'm gonna say, even my best poems, I'm gonna say my best poems, I haven't finished. I haven't finished. All right. I have one poem that's called Time, Life, Lies. Let me see where it starts at. Boom. That's where it starts. And I wrote this. This is when I was in prison, so it was 2008, I believe, 2009. And again, I didn't finish this one. I did not finish this one, and I got like three pieces to this that I haven't finished. So let me see if I can get this, because it got a certain hit to it. It got a certain, in my head. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can hit it. I sit here and think about the times in the life and the lives that I've spoke. I sit here and think about the times in the life. I sit here and think about the times in the life and the lies that I've spoken. When the lies and the life and the times has been chosen in life that's provoking. I'm doing time because the life filled with lies that I've lived led to this bid. I lied to my wife time and time again, but she still stuck to my side like skin. I tried to do right with the life I was given, but times get hard and my back's to the wall, but I try to stay on my feet, but I fall. I get back on my feet, but I fall. I curl in the ball like fetal position, but I give to submission. I tap to give up, but they won't slack up, squeezing my life from the times that I've lied. I try to proceed. Oh no, that was a different part. But I learn every time in my life that I lie. I lied to cover up, even lied to butter up. But every time in my life that I lie, lies tend to creep up on my blind side. Lies bite me on my hind side, can't see from my blind side. But if I took the time to get my life in the line, I wouldn't have to live lies upon lies upon lies, times lies in life. They say only the strong survive. If I gotta lie to survive, I don't mind. There's another one too somewhere. Let me see. The thing is, when times get hard, my lies get thicker. My life sinks quicker and quicker. And it gets hard to remember. I used to lie a lot. That was one of the things, I say to this day, older me, adult Phillip cannot stand, younger Philip. If adult Philip, I think of that movie Gemini. You know what I mean? The adult Philip. If adult Philip was to run into younger Philip, yeah, I beat him the fuck up, no mercy. Period, nigga. I can't stand you. There's growth in that though. You know what I mean? Just to see how wrong I was, and then when I was in it, when I was younger, I couldn't see my flaws. I couldn't see how wrong I was at that age. And when I say younger Philip, I'm talking 15 to 23. Nah, I'm talking 8, 7, 6. You know what I mean? I'm talking around there to about 24. I say that. I say that. I beat him up, no problem. I couldn't stand him. He lies. And now in my stance right now, you can ask me anybody can ask me anything. I'm gonna give you the truth. I'm gonna give you the whole truth, whether you want it or not. I'm gonna give it to you. You know what I mean? I'm in a space right now that I see where my lies have led. I see how my lies led me astray. And it just kept getting thicker and thicker, and I kept sinking quicker and quicker. I mean, I couldn't keep it up. So now I'm at the point where it's easier to me to tell the truth in life versus hiding everything behind lies. You know what I mean? And that's one value that I'm instilling in my kids early is tell the truth. It doesn't matter how wrong it is. It doesn't matter if you believe you're gonna get in trouble at the end because of it. Still tell the truth. That's the bottom line. That is the value that I will get off to my kids early. Tell the truth no matter what. Period. All right, and that's something that younger Philip could never do. Younger Philip could never tell the truth. Older Philip, Philip now loves nothing but. All right, that's it. All right, so let me go ahead and bust this other poem. It's called Time for y'all. You know what I mean? And just so y'all know too, and I said this already before too, I didn't have any children before I went to prison. I went in out at 27. I didn't have any children when I went into prison. My first kid I had, yeah, 27, early. Fast, all right? I'm gonna say that much. Let me go ahead and bust this poem for y'all real fast. It's called Time. All right. Nah, I ain't gonna bust that time joint for y'all. I mean, I'm saying that I'm just looking at the time just because of the fact you can see when you're in prison, people they can get access to the same stuff that they have out here. You know what I mean? And you can see why people who are in prison because they in there doing the exact same shit. All right, but I am gonna bust this just thinking joint. You know what I mean? I wrote this October 2008. All right. For the women, I say stop thinking with your hearts, and dudes stop thinking with your dicks. And the youth, just start thinking. You see, the youth get to thinking from the music and the TV. They doing what they see instead of doing what they need be. They see and hear a bunch of rappers acting like some dumb sagging spelled backwards, sagging spelled backwards, and that's what they after. Fast cars and fast broads and money. It comes faster in summertime when it's sunny. See hustlers stand cocked on blocks, pockets lumpy. But it's funny. What's in the pockets though? You see, that's not my problem to figure out, so I keep it moving without a doubt. I use my noggin to get me out of situations without hesitating, still bringing home the bacon without it involving Satan. But is it my job to make sure Satan, the hustle on the corner don't back a body for the corners? or keep it moving so my family don't be the ones to be the warners. Or nah, I ain't telling nobody. Just turn cheek. They say telling's for the weak. You see, thinking has no room for emotions. Because anger clouds and love blinds, but a thinking man remains unswayed. So I was just thinking, if I think till thinking starts thinking for me, then why am I in here? Then why am I in here? Because I wasn't thinking. What you think? That's just thinking. I like that. I like that joint. You know what I mean? Dang, I was locked up talking about just thinking. Shh. You see, thinking has no room for emotions. Anger clouds and love blinds, but a thinking man remains unswayed. So I was just thinking, if I think till thinking starts thinking for me, then why am I in prison? Why did I go to prison? I'm just sharing some stuff with y'all. That's all. Sharing a little bits and pieces of y'all, of myself with y'all through some stanzas. That's it. Did I share ghetto blues with y'all? I don't think I shared ghetto blues with y'all. Yeah, I don't think I shared ghetto blues with y'all. Let me go ahead and share ghetto blues with y'all. And I had reworded this too, so bear with me at the end. I wrote this April 2009. Alright, I was in the Pinta again. Ghetto blues. Opportunities. I got the opportunity to grow up without a pops. Mom smoking bops, so I was raised by the blocks. The cops showed love, they accept me with open arms. They craved it when I screw up and loved it when I grew up. They couldn't wait to give me cufflinks, I mean cuffs bound by links. I'm forced down to thinking I'm held bound by ink. Seeing men come out the closet, born blue, now they're pink. Blue, now they're pink. Get it? I had the opportunity to have a mother and a fiend. I had a mother as a fiend, did anything for the green to get high. And to supply her lasting high, she even sold what she buys. She would have sold me if she tried. You see, the monkey on her back was more like a full-grown gorilla. Had a fiending for the color stuff, you know, off-white manila. She couldn't fight the fight for life until the fight for life killed her. She OD'd from the color stuff, you know, off-white vanilla. Opportunities is a challenge that it seems to me I lost. My pops was an alky and he soon paid the cost. Left a bastard full of hatred for the streets to consume. So the hate I feel for him is more than you can assume. You see, I write with shaky words cause I can't control my ways. I wish I had the opportunity to share some words with him today, but I can't. For the simple fact I gotta watch what I say. So I breathe deep and to respect the man that lay. See, I got the opportunity to have my folks taken away. In hopes of getting paid, I saw what made them pay. Now I lay like they do with my thoughts construed, but they can't breathe like I do from their drug abuse. Even though our paths differ, I'm still paying the price. The nightlife and the limelights got me giving up life like Christ. What am I saying in today's life crisis? Opportunities come and go. That's just the way that my life is. That's opportunities. Ghetto blues. You know what I mean? That was that young ghetto blues thing. You know what I mean? That's me writing with shaky words. All right. And you know, with me being in prison too, and this is the next part that I'm sharing with y'all. You know, with me being in prison, I was saying I ain't have no kids, which means I ain't have a wife, I ain't have a baby mothers or anything like that to write me letters. You know what I mean? I had me a couple of snow bunnies from school and stuff like that. That would, you know, they started off kind of iffy already. You know what I mean? But long story short, you know, it wasn't like I had family sending me money consistently. I had friends sending me money consistently. I had family or friends or anybody sending me letters consistently. You know, I'm saying all that to say I had a hard bid. You know what I mean? I had to get on my feet by myself. I had one of my partners from when I was in locked up. He, you know what I mean? He put me on what he was doing. You know what I mean? So that I was able to get on myself, type of thing. But long story short, it was nothing illegal. Long story short, I'm gonna share with y'all this poem. Is called Ghostwriter. You know what I mean? And I wrote this poem November 28th. November 2008. I say I don't exist, but my words do. I write to just write, hoping that someone will pick up a pen and just might write back. So I hope, knowing they can, but they won't. Saying they will, but they don't. So I ghost write, but most night I hold tight the demon that's inside that's trying to rise to the surface. But one thing's for certain. Once I let go of this curtain, I'm not the only one to be hurting. They say sticks and stones break bones, but words will hurt a nigga's feelings. Get them in their feelings so they feel how I'm feeling, and I'm tempted to unleash this inner beast. Let them roam, no retreat. Let the inner beast feast, but I don't want no man to feel how I felt. Wouldn't want no man to feel how I felt. I wouldn't wish it on someone else, not even my worst enemy. Not the dude who raped my picture, who worked, or who stole my last penny. Although it lays in me, the shit just ain't in me. But how long can I hold it, contain it, maintain it, abstain it, restrain it, sustain it, frame it? That's the question that won't stray. I can just let loose, but refuse to excuse the abuse. What can I say? But if I'm accused, then I, but if I'm accused, then I choose to reuse and loosen screws on the noose of the fools whose moves fools did I confuse you. I goes right because I gotta get it out. But no point in running around with my head screaming, attitude so demeaning. That's why I keep my mouth zipped and I write. Yeah, that was. I gotta finish that one. That was Ghostwriter though. You know what I mean? I'm just sharing with y'all some bits and pieces of me. You know what I mean? My thoughts and stuff where I be coming from. I'm gonna get into this one. You know, I don't have no name for this journal, but in each journal, my writing is different. You know what I mean? I wanted this one to look like a comic book kind of magazine type of thing. You know what I mean? Where and that was the introduction page with my younger brother and myself, with my niece in the background. If you see her, I haven't seen my niece since she was that age right there, and I'm about 7 or 8 in that picture. All right, no, I'm 11. Okay, there it is right there. I'm 11 in that picture. All right, my younger brother is 3, and my niece back there, she is 2.5. She's 3 as well. Oh, no, she is 3 as well. She's older than my younger brother. All right, I haven't seen, you know what I mean. Still trying to find her. You know what I mean. Said all that to say that. All right, but I'm gonna get into this next Thursday. All right, just sharing bits and pieces of y'all. I mean, bits and pieces to myself to y'all. Where I was at when I was writing these pieces, and some of them are just real small little bits and pieces. That's it. Um, Yeah, that's it. I don't mean like that's it. Just that's all I'm doing right now. Just sharing little bits and pieces of myself with y'all right now. You know what I mean? The poems. I went extremely deep and shared real intimate moments and poems with y'all last week. So I wanted to keep it a little lighter this time. You know what I mean? Racing thoughts. Goodness. How's the fam? God damn, I can't think straight. I think my bitch getting laid by my best man. I know her good, but not enough to play the guess game. She'll give in to the best game. See, messing with them snow bunnies. She gave in to the best game. Nah, I'm not gonna share that right now. Um, I got a poem that's called History Channel. Oh man, that one is deep. Mm, yeah, I can't. Yeah, that one takes me somewhere else right there. That one's called History Channel. I gotta finish that one. A free right to have a conversation, but don't feel like talking. And I want to go to miles, but don't feel like walking. My issues last a while. They be lingering often. Turns me off when niggas think they hardens. When niggas think my harden softens. Makes me sick to my stomach how these niggas be coughing. Keep drawing about nothing. End up in a coffin. Hawking obscenities and making nothing but enemies. Me spitting bars and dun 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 dun. I was sitting on the toilet contemplating my constipation. It's my occupation for motivating the congregation. This generation lacks stimulation for observation. I gotta finish that one too. I was going somewhere with that. I just write. That's it. There's no. If I have a thought and I just write, 9 times out of 10, you will always see me with something that I can write with. All right, I just write. I'm a writer. I'm not a talker. I don't like talking. You know what I mean? That's something else. Some of y'all who may or may not believe. All right, I'm not a talker. Where was this one going? Huh? I want to talk. Hey, I was going somewhere with that too. That's still that times, life, and lies. Oh, okay. I got 4 parts to that. Mm. I just write. That's all I do. Let me bust another one for you. Uh, My life changed in 91. Granny took in a grandson. Said it took 5 baths to clean the dirt off my ass. Shit, it still take 5 baths to clean the dirt off my ass. Hoping I'll get a little lighter, shine a little brighter. Grew up with a house full, so budget a little tighter. Couldn't get what I wanted, so I showed my ass out. Granny had the remedy, just whoop till I pass out. For showing my ass out. Don't be. There was no groundings, don't even think of allowance. She'd give it when she had it, most times we'd have it. Riding in her old Buick, playing nothing but old music on Dr. Daddy-O and the Blues. I remember that station. Same story went in school, only went 'cause she made me. No thoughts or even maybes. I was there on the daily. Fighting dudes 'cause they said your mama. They be in a world of trauma. World full of drama. Fighting dudes that called me spoiled Phil. Said I look like an oil spill. Those dudes ain't have no heart. They couldn't finish what they start. So I tore them apart. Now they want to roll 'cause I scared them. Like Freddie and Chucky. They really lucky I ain't flipped like them Columbine dudes. Could have brought out those tools on them fools. But black folks don't do that. I mean, real black folks don't do that. Then who black? Mm. I might need to revisit that one. Yeah, I might have to revisit that one. I don't know where I was going with that. Let me see. Yeah, I have an idea where I was going with that actually. That's burning thoughts. I did burning thoughts for y'all already last week. Um, that's not necessary. Mm. Bound. Let me see. I'm my own man, but I let another man make commands where I stand. Now here I am. I'm bound, pleading guilty, sweating profusely. Usually, I never let another man see me sweat. I keep my head up tilt and keep it moving at a step. I take no time to look back, take no time to backtrack. Keep moving forward. Get as far away from this horror. Better yet, a lesson learned. Though my thoughts still burn, I'm looked upon through their unseen eyes and I'm viewed as a criminal. My role play kinda minimal. Regardless, I took part. They don't see I'm really book smart. With a vernacular tongue, my poetry is my crook art. Cause I took it without asking. Now I'm laughing. I beat myself for bad choices I make. My head aches from the beatings I take, but I learn from mistakes. See, when you're bound by invisible links, your main peeps to take flute vamoose disappear like Houdini. I wish upon a falling star and wish these niggas could be me. Bound between concrete walls that get colder by nightfall. Some cells may seem spacious, but I call mine the tight crawl. It's a squeeze to what I'm used to, and it frees like an igloo. It's hard to manage when you choke and start to panic. But on average, look, these niggas ain't as tough as they claim be. Born, raised, and roughed up in this heat of these gang streets, but they remain sweet. Ah, okay. See, they bound by the same links, but different ethics and codes separated like ethnics and ethos. Some wouldn't feed on foes, other niggas that eat those don't. To beat those, don't consider fam your street bros, huh? They won't hesitate to turn you in. They'll turn to save their own skin. They'll squeal to the pigs like pigs, you dig? They really will. But who's to say you can't do what you want or can't say who when the same gangsters ain't bound by their own rules? But let me read that one more time. But who's to say you can't do what or you can't say who when the same gangsters ain't bound by their own rules? I wrote that December 2008. I bust this pipe dreams already for y'all. You know what I mean? And I think this wasn't the original. And now I got my so for those two, you know what I mean? I also have my autobiography that I actually started working on too. You know what I mean? This is the actual autobiography of Felipe Douglas, King Phillip. You know what I mean? It's in the workings. You know, back fronts. You know what I mean? Back fronts. We writing. I'm editing too, just so y'all can see the little editing notes and stuff too. We writing. You know what I mean? Back front. You know, back front. We writing. So each piece is this is where I should have came from. Shoot, really, to be honest with y'all, if I'm sharing my life, I should have just came from this, because this is it. This is exactly how I'm rolling. If I was to rewrite this, it would probably be exactly how I started on my last special episode. So what that my mom sold bops and OD'd off the same old rocks, and my pops stalked with straight shots and then popped bottles but couldn't stop. That's an excerpt from Burning Thoughts. Life is not the best in the world to me, but the best day in the world was January 7th, 1984. Y'all know what the fuck it was? A star was born in the wee hours of the morning at Denver, Colorado. My mom's was a good lady. Not the best nor the worst by far, just good. She did what she could for her and her 4 kids to get by. Let me tell y'all, I started this May 2009. All right, so mind you, where I'm at mentally right now is not where I was mentally at this time. All right, just to put that out there. I was 2009. Dang, that was 11 years ago. Goodness, I was 26. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, just good. All right, enough to get by. She risked jail time by selling drugs and committing other crimes just so we could have to find the things that life had to offer. And in a pursuit of happiness, confinement and Rochelle Douglas became one. By the way, that's my mom's. From what I can recall from the age range of 5 to 12 years old, she was in and out of jail. So the man I am today, she had little to do with. I say that not to throw dirt on her name because she wasn't a part of my growth, nor do I give her complete credit for who I am. I say that because if it wasn't for the mistakes she made, then how would I learn not to make those mistakes for myself? All right. My mom's was always a pretty good judge of character, but when it came to choosing a man, she left her brain out of the equation and went heart first. I always ask myself, why did my moms have to get a nut from this squirrel? And the squirrel I speak of is Robert Smith, and then that's when I broke into Burning Thoughts. All right, I read Burning Thoughts. And then I go, Robert Smith wasn't your average squirrel. You know, some squirrels, believe it or not, provided for rainy days, but not this squirrel. He wasn't a dad, he wasn't a pops, a father, a guardian, a friend, a caretaker, a provider, nor a sperm donor. He was a squirrel just looking for a nut. It's hard to tell someone about your squirrel when the only thing you know about him is his name and when he died. Enough said. I was the third oldest out of 4 kids and the youngest for my first 8 years. Being that we all had different squirrels, none of us looked related. My sister Lily was the oldest, being that she was 6 years older than me. We never really kicked it or hung out when we were younger. My older brother Kiki, now that's another story. We were only a year and a half apart, so our connection was a lot stronger. We argued and fight at home. We argued and fought at home. We argued and fought in school. Hell, we even argued and fought in church. But if one of us got into it with anybody else, we both be the ones beating that person or persons up. But once that beef is squashed, it's back to our sibling rivalry. You see, my younger brother Brandon, he is 8 years younger than me. We didn't fight too much growing up because he was the baby still, and he always got his way. If something didn't go his way, he would cry until he got his way, which made Kiki and myself furious and jealous. We still had a strong connection considering the age difference. I guess it's because we grew up together. Now, when I say that, it's deeper than being infants growing up to becoming toddlers. I'm talking about teenagers turning into the men they become for the rest of their life. My younger brother is a lot older mentally than the years given to him. I never told him he couldn't kick it with me because, for one, he was my little brother and I got to name him. And for two, if I told him no, he couldn't hang out with me, he'd go cry and tell my grandmother, then nobody'd be able to go out. All right, now my grandma, I put a note in here to go in more about Brandon. You know what I mean? So I need to go in more about Brandon. My little brother, he was spoiled. You know what I mean? He's out here gang banging Lil Trey 5 or whatever his name is. You know what I mean? Gang banging. He was spoiled. All right. We was just talking about this morning. You know, my little brother, he didn't start wiping his own ass until he was like 12. You know what I mean? Every time he would finish boo-booing, he would always say, "I finished!" And he was screaming, and one of us would come and wipe his big old ass. You know what I mean? And if y'all know my little brother, he's a big one right now. You know what I mean? He's a big boy. You know what I mean? When he was younger, he was a big boy. All right? So he's a big 9-year-old, big 10, 11-year-old. Like, nigga, why you yelling finish? Nigga, wipe your own ass. You know what I mean? But, he's a good ass wiper right now. I said that, all that to say that. You know what I mean? Did the thing. But, he was spoiled. Anything that he wanted, he just had to. If he asked my grandma and my grandma didn't say no, he would go shoot to my grandpa. My grandpa didn't say no to nothing. He didn't say nothing, say no to nothing that my little brother requested. You know what I mean? And that's what drove my grandma furious. Even looking at it too, our next door neighbors, going back to when that notion of it takes a neighborhood. All right. Our next door neighbor, you know, Val Senior, you know what I mean, Val Junior, Miss Gwen, you know what I mean, that whole family over there, you know, they took care of us and loved on us like they was ours too. You know what I mean? To the point where, you know, after my grandma had passed and stuff like that, my little brother, he could only my grandpa, he could only do so much when it came excuse me, when it came to my little brother. He could only do so much. So, um, I remember my little brother moving to Texas with our next door neighbors. You know what I mean? And it was dope. It was crazy because I was in school at that time at Fort Lewis when he had moved down to Texas and stuff too. But it came down to you know, they had moved back, you know, and my little brother, like I said, he wanted to gang bang early. He wanted to follow his older brother's footsteps and be put on the same gang and do all that finger flopping, you know what I mean? But I mean the kid, you know, number one, he got wordplay. You know what I mean? My brother, he's a wordsmith. You know, a lot of people don't know this about him. He's a wordsmith. You know what I mean? You know how to put words together in ways to you know, is even when he was younger too, you know, he used to rap, freestyle, do a little shit and stuff like that, play around with it. You know, he's still playing around with it and stuff like that, but it took more of a gang banging turn. But saying all that to say, how he played with the words, I've always loved to hear him spit something, rap something. You know what I mean? Just I love that word play. I just didn't like the old, you know what I mean, gang banging spin behind it. You know, so now my grandma, she was slash is the strongest, most compassionate woman I've ever met. When my mom Dokes was in jail, she always took all of us in and took care of us. When my aunt was in the hospital, she would do the same for her kids. Even though the house was built for one family to fit comfortably, husband, wife, and one child, we had a total of 9 living under that one roof. If you ask me how she did it, you're asking the wrong person. She always made sure we had a full belly, clean clothes, and chores to do if we wanted money. She paid for good grades in school as well. She did everything she could to raise all of us the best she could without the help from our biological parents. But the older we got, the harder our heads became. One by one, we all became a product of our environment and a victim to the streets. My older sister and 2 older cousins were the first to become best friends with the police, meaning they stayed in so much trouble the police knew them intimately. My sister ran away from home at 12 years old and had her first kid at age 13. Child services wouldn't allow my grandma to have custody because she already had a full house. My older cousin was next, followed by my older brother. The police just couldn't wait for me to grow up so they can embrace me as well. And then that's when I bust that ghetto blues for y'all that I just busted, you know what I mean? You know, that ghetto blues thing. Alright. You see, drugs is the worst thing that ever happened to my family. It giveth and it taketh away. You know, and that applies to my siblings and cousins as well as my mother and my aunt. Our parents chose to take the drugs and use them, which led to their deaths. While we, on the other hand, chose to take the drugs that destroyed our family and our community and use those drugs to destroy other families and get money at the same time. See, when you are getting money, it doesn't dawn on you how many people you bring down so you can come up. You know, they say it's a dog eat dog world, and to each man his own by any means necessary. And again, let me go ahead and pause real fast too. You know, with that mind frame, again, I started this in 2009. My mind frame here, my mind frame now was completely different things. But at the same time too, this part of our culture has been adapted where drug dealers can sell, where a dude can sell crack to his homie's mom. His homie don't want to serve her. His homie trying to get her off of it, but she like, shit, if I can't get it from you, then I'm gonna get it from somebody else, and that somebody else just happened to be his homie's friend. And now his friend is serving his mom. By any means necessary. We see a drug that was used to destroy our family directly. I still know what the smell of crack smell like over Febreze. Oh man, that shit was funny. I still know what crack over Febreze smell like. It smells like crack over Febreze. Stop playing, parents. We is not dumb. Dumb. We are not dumb. Alright? Sure, stop playing with us. Okay. I go through life every day wondering what would my life be like if I had a father who really cared. The type to teach me how to fight, ride a bike, fix a flat, tie my shoes the correct way, and just give me the basic tools and lessons I need to learn and take with me through life. I shouldn't have to learn these things by going through it. I'd rather for my pops to tell me not to touch the stove because it's hot than me burning my hand just to find out if it's hot. I don't live with regrets because I can't live with them. They'll tear me up, break me down if I try to live with regrets. But I do live with a bus load full of what ifs. I say the what ifs in my body consume more than my blood cells. There's always the what ifs that goes through my head daily. I call those burning thoughts because the answers will forever be unknown. And it hurts mentally and emotionally just thinking about it. I go through the same life wondering what would my life be like if my mom's made it out of that hospital that fretful day. Would I treat women like the queens that some may be instead of like fast food joints? In and out, in and out, in and out to the next joint. Or would I wine and dine, take my time and tell her every single day she's fine? Who knows? I do know one thing. The beliefs and values instilled in me, respect, the golden rule, were all instilled from my grandmother. She also taught me anything I want to have, I need to work hard to get it because it won't come to me. All the negative values and beliefs, only the strong survive, dog eat dog world, etc. I learned from the streets. The streets took but never gave. The streets don't show love. I'm going to go ahead and pause right there. You know what I mean? I'm going to go ahead and pause right there. I shared enough with y'all on this Thanksgiving Day. You know what I mean? So every Thursday I'm going to share a little bit about myself in typical poetry fashion. You know what I mean? I'm going to do it. I'm almost out of poems though. You know what I mean? Said all that to say that I might not have much more to say about myself to y'all in typical poetry fashion. Alright? So y'all might just have to get it how it comes. You know what I mean? Alright, that's it. I ain't got no more. I'm about out of Joe. Y'all have a good one. And blah 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 blah.